Hey folks, this is Justin from the Leonidas Knives and Gear channel, and I wanted to do a shovel showdown type of video, testing review here. And I recently just kind of wanted to update or upgrade my personal shovel inventory because I've got a lot of knives and tools and tomahawks and axes, but I've really only had this cold steel Special Forces shovel for some time now. I did have a Glock E-tool, and to be honest, that one actually, it didn't work out for me. So I ended up getting rid of it several years back, but it was pretty good while I had it. But I've just had this cold steel Special Forces shovel. And recently I have picked up, this is, I hope I pronounced this correctly, the Lesche this is the Mini Sampson with the ball handle. And I was gonna go with maybe like say the Fox Knives folding shovel, but this one was 100% made in the USA, a little bit cheaper, and honestly it just looked awesome because it has a pretty wicked serrated edge on there, which, you know, we'll check out some close-ups here in a little bit. And I just thought it would be a good kind of matchup with the Special Forces shovel here because this is one of the most popular shovels in the bushcraft community for good reason. This is a fantastic field shovel here. It's got a very wide spade on there, almost completely flat, which makes it also ideal for chopping and actually throwing, which I don't necessarily recommend, but this is probably a tool that you could throw a little bit and have some fun with and get away with and not break it. And it's been good to me. This Lesche Mini Sampson is more focused on the metal detecting community, which that's not exactly what I'm a part of, but it looked rugged and robust. And you can also tell immediately that when you're talking about the width of the spade, this has got a much or less wide spade compared to the Special Forces by Cold Steel. So obviously not going to get to move as much dirt. But what I thought I would do is I'm going to kind of have a sort of a time limit here. I don't have my stopwatch. I do have a watch, but so it's going to be a loose average timing here. I'm going to basically dig and try to get, let's see, I think I'm going to try to get to around 15 inches and just see how long that will take. Now again, been using the Special Forces shovel for a while now. Great shovel, but this one's more new to me. I've really just only used it a few times. Otherwise, I mean, it's been a great shovel, but I can tell you it doesn't move as much dirt. But again, I wanted to just kind of do a side-by-side for those folks out there who love this one, and maybe you're looking for something a little bit more specialized. So here we go with the Lesche Mini Sampson. Gonna just try to get to around 15-18 inches, and this dirt is soft here. That's also why it was after a rain. I wanted to go ahead and take advantage of this. Okay, all right, we're good enough here. But we got 15. That went really well. Let's check out the Special Forces shovel. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, okay, we're good to go. All right, let me just show a close-up on what I did here. And all right, so there's the hole for the Lesche Mini Sampson and the hole for the cold steel. Just another quick comparison. For example, the cold steel Special Forces shovel here is well known for being able to chop well, and that is just because the spade is so very flat. It's almost completely flat. There's a little bit of a dip in there, but you can tell that it's definitely got some good chopping edges, a good wide blade. Just for example, now, you know, you don't want to necessarily have to do this, but if you need to, it will work. Okay, not the greatest, but it will definitely work. Now I just wanted to compare the Mini Sampson here, see if we could do any work. Haven't really done much with it. Okay, honestly, I can just tell you straight up, this one is just not going to be a chopper really at all. The spade here has definitely got more of an angle coming in, you know, compared to the cold steel. It's more flat, which is fine. You know, this works good for you know, stabbing into the earth, but just got a lot of shock and vibration trying to chop here. You know, obviously for bushcraft, hiking, camping, this is going to be your choice if you have to use it for chopping. Mini Sampson, just I can't recommend it. It just didn't work out very well. So just wanted to show that. I wanted to wrap up the side-by-side testing and comparison review video of I hope I pronounced this right, the Lesche Mini Sampson, and then I have here the Cold Steel Special Forces shovel. And overall, I had a really good time with both shovels. They obviously have their differences. For example, you know, some of the basic specifications. Overall, the Cold Steel is around 20 inches from the ball of the handle to the tip of the spade. The Mini Sampson here, from the tip of the spade to the ball, is just a slightly shorter, around 18 inches. The full width of the spade here on the Cold Steel is around 6 inches, and here on the Mini Sampson, it is actually only 4 inches. And in other differences, first of all, the serrations on the Mini Sampson here are really neat. To be honest, I would actually really like to see some of those type serrations on the Cold Steel right here. I think that would just be awesome. Very, you know, just done very similar to the Mini Sampson, just the serrations on one side, not necessary to have them on both. Personally, I think that would be really great for, you know, example, tearing through roots and other really, you know, tough objects, you know, like that in the ground. For example, that's just something, you know, that I noticed. I think that you could benefit for. And then as for the Cold Steel here, the handle here is a hardwood based handle, and the Mini Sampson here is a full steel build. It is welded there, but it seems to me be extremely robust and tough shovel. And actually, in my opinion, I think it's kind of a more attractive shovel than the Cold Steel Special Forces. I mean, they're both good looking shovels, but this one's, in my opinion, the Mini Sampson here is just definitely aggressive looking, more of a specialized surgical tool. And from what I did today, I would say that's exactly what you get. And again, I had a fantastic time with both shovels. One thing I did not do was weigh them out. I'm going to say the Mini Sampson has to be just slightly heavier than the Cold Steel here, but not much. And that's interesting because, you know, the full metal build, but I think the difference of just having a larger spade on the Cold Steel also affects that. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, as for, you know, the folks out there who, you know, would be interested in either one of these and what you would get out of them, you know, for example, the bushcraft community loves this Cold Steel Special Forces shovel, very well known. I've been using mine for several years now, very hard, especially just even work around the house. Fantastic shovel. You can move a lot of earth with this in a very short amount of time. And as for the Mini Sampson here, again, more specialized tool, more surgical, more aggressive, and not going to move as much earth as quickly, but that's not really what it was designed for. I was, you know, again, I was able to show that you can do a lot of work with this in a short amount of time, but it's just going to be more surgical and precise. And I think there's a very good reason why this is presented to the metal detecting community, because you're not necessarily trying to move a lot of dirt or anything like that. You're trying to get to an object that's buried, and you may have to move a lot of dirt, and I do think this would be a pretty good option. But for something that I would take hiking, camping, backpacking, I would probably go with the cold steel all day. Although I might give this Mini Sampson a shot at some point, just to see how it does. I mean, it's very compact overall, and like I said, it's got some weight to it, but I don't feel like it's much more than the cold steel here. But they both handle very well, especially both having the ball on the end. I had no comfort issues, obviously wearing gloves today, but kind of makes sense with the digging in the dirt, and just to kind of help with the grip with that. But yeah, both very comfortable, both very easy to work with, robust shovels. Another thing to keep in mind is with the Mini Sampson here, you're not going to have to replace that handle, hopefully ever. If you do, you're definitely in trouble. That's a weld issue, but this, again, this seemed very robust. As for the cold steel, from time to time I do hear that folks have to replace these handles. It's not very common. I mean, you have to really beat the heck out of one of these to have to replace that hardwood handle. And if you have to, I'm pretty sure that's fairly inexpensive, and it's not a very difficult thing to do. Again, not done very often. As for price difference, there is definitely a price difference. The cold steel, I think I got it somewhere around $30 to $40 a couple years back. The Mini Sampson here is definitely more. It is around the $60 to $70 range, most websites. But again, if I was into metal detecting, I would feel like this is money well spent, just because of how well it just pierces into the earth. Very surgical, very precise compared to the cold steel here. This is moving a lot of earth, but it's a little more just clunky, I guess you would say, compared to the Mini Sampson. But still, both very good shovels, and just depends on your needs. Just one of those things. If you're into a specialized hobby, this might definitely be for you. You're doing more of the bushcrafting. Hey, stick with the cold steel. But I had a ton of fun with these. So, folks, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you could comment, I'd love to read that and respond to you. And also, if you're not a subscriber, hey, please do that so you can be notified of future uploads. Thank you for your time.